Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy. Today I am kind of bulk recording because we are headed to San Diego next week and I am trying to get ahead, but I'm also trying to share what I'm doing. So today on my channel, I am trying to figure out how to do this correctly. I think I'm just going to pull this out of my traveler's notebook. I am trying to find the best supplies to take with on our little trip. So I don't know, and this is not going to make any decisions for me, but I am playing around with stuff. I have had this for a long time. I don't remember when I bought it, but it's the Mungyo Professional, which is not professional watercolors, in the Pastel set. And so I thought, well, we'll swatch this because it's all brand new and I've had it for a long time. So I thought we'd swatch this, and then I've got a couple other things here to swatch. And so we're just gonna go ahead and get started and start the video. So I'm gonna do the watercolor at the end as I'm figuring this out. But I also got these Koh-i-Noor Heartmouth, the magic colored pencils. I saw that they had a set that was 12 of these fun colored pencils, and I love using them in my sketchbook. I have one rainbow one, and then I've got a red, white, and blue one that I share with my boys. And so I thought, oh, how fun would it be if these were the colored pencils we took. I got them each a very cheap traveler's notebook online because sometimes they like to do art, especially my oldest, and sometimes they don't. So I thought, oh, let's try this out for the trip. If I take my stuff, they're going to want to take their stuff. Now these ones are different than the ones that I have. I hope they still work in my sharpener because that's different. They're not the same as the one that I have. These ones are triangular, and so they're not circular, which is weird. I don't know. It's weird for me, but let's swatch these. This is the brown, and they kind of have different colors, and that's why I like them, because they can be really fun to draw with and sketch with. But these ones seem to not have as much variant because it's all one color. So this is the brown. And sometimes I find when you tip the angle, they do change. So, I mean, it's still changing, just not as much as my other ones, which I suppose makes sense since they're all just like, this one's gray tones. This one has a little bit more variance than the brown. Gray. Until you write with it, right? Okay, so that's fun. And then this one is, the next one is this green one here. I'm trying to look on the box and keep them in the order that they were on the box. These two were flipped, but well, this is a really fun one for like grass. Oh my gosh, I think this would just be fun for grass all the time in your sketchbook. Like, look at how fun that is. I like this one. And I'm gonna call this one like dark green because there's a light green too, which is this one. This guy right here. Yeah, I think the mixture of these two definitely would be fun in a sketchbook all the time. At least for me, because I do a lot of landscaping and a lot of stuff. This would have been really nice to have yesterday when we were at the campground and I drew trees. I can show you. I drew trees with our rainbow one. And so this one has like a whole bunch of colors, but these ones have kind of more of the like one color in different shades. This is a dark blue. Okay. And I'm not getting much variant in this one. Maybe because the tip is pretty pretty the same color, or they're just very similar colors. This is the dark blue. I really like these. I found all of these on Amazon for $20. And what I like about them is they're big, and sometimes it's nice to have a big pencil because it has less, for me at least, it has less strain on my hand, but also my kids love them. And it's just kind of like that novelty, especially when we are doing, this is a family vacation. I want to make sure that the stuff I bring is stuff that they can use as well. And it's not like super precious. Most of my stuff isn't precious, I will say. There's only a few things that I just like do a hard no for them. Hey, this is mom's, this is special to me, please don't. Like my watercolor palette. I make them their own rather than them using my watercolor palette. But they use my Tombows, so I'm having to replace Tombows probably a lot more often than some people, but I just want to encourage creativity, and I don't want to be like, no, 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 don't touch my supplies because they're precious. I mean, sure, they're precious, but they're also art supplies. So I just try to have that philosophy, at least with my kids, and it's done really well. My son is very, very creative and very into art, and he has all his own mind. He's created books, like illustrated his own books and written his own books at 7. I want to encourage that. They may not be good, but I don't know. I have no idea. Some of them you can barely read, but I think it's really awesome that he has that. Am I missing colors? Oh my goodness, I am. I'm missing one. Okay, that's why I was like, what? So then it's, see, I'm trying to follow this. And so it's this one, then this one, then this one, and this one. Okay, perfect. Now I have them in order. This one must be like the red orange. Yeah, it's kind of a red orange. It's got red and orange. But yeah, I think these are so much fun. And we already have the rainbow one, so it will be nice to have these too. And I have a little case that I'll put these in, but that's going to be in another video. This is just swatching and trying to like decide, do we like these? We do. We very much so do. And this is like yellow, pink, orange. That's kind of fun. I like that one. So I'm going to put yellow, orange, because I think that would be what it's trying to be, yellow, orange, maybe. And then maybe this one's trying to be orange, yellow. I have no idea. It's got orange and yellow, so. Or maybe this one's just orange. Yeah, that one's orange, definitely. I don't know, I'm making up names. So just be aware that I don't know what the actual names of these are. Oh, they have actual names. Sahara Sun, Orange Flower, Pomegranate, Poppy Flower, Strawberry Ice Cream. I can see that. Forest Violets, Water World, Quiet Twilight, Forest Stillness, Rainforest, Australian Bush, and Titanium Metal. Okay. Well, I didn't call them that. Whoops. And then it's +1, which I don't know what this +1 is. Yeah, I don't know what this one's supposed to be. Maybe? Oh, and it even comes with this. Maybe if I would have opened the box and actually looked. Oh, it's a blender. So that's a blender. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't really use blenders very much, so that might stay home. But this one is... This one's supposed to be the Sahara Sun. I'm just going to call it yellow. Okay, and then the blender. Does the blender have any color? No, but it does blend it. Actually blends them really nice. I just wanted to see. Actually really kind of does, doesn't it? I've never really used a blender before, but that's actually not a bad blender. And all the people who are watching me are like, yeah, I use blenders all the time. So there's that plus the red, white, and blue, and the, so we've got, yeah, ours, so we've got the Bengal tiger is probably what we have. And then the erupting volcano or the Spanish night, one of those two, or the evening storm. I don't know which ones we have, but I do know that we have that one. That one's the rainbowy one. So there are more colors. These are the ones that I grabbed. I am very curious if they work in my pencil sharpener, so I will have to pull that out here in a minute. But those are the colored pencils that I'm thinking that we will take. I am going to just plop this over here, and we will use this. So now these I have been eyeing for a long time, but they've been out of stock everywhere. I sometimes want to just throw some Crayola colors, and I really loved this pastel set, but I couldn't find it. And I was at Michael's the other day replenishing some of our Tombos that were looking rough, and I saw this. This was $5.99, so I had to grab it because I had like a 20% off everything. So I'm very excited. I've wanted this pastel set forever. I'm sure all of these colors are in something else, but I wanted this because I can. I don't know. Is that the best way? Like, I just really like sometimes having 20 colors. So, and then I can throw these in with those. But it looks like they do have like a number here. Are they all the same? Yeah, it says A5B08. They used to put color names, but I am just going to swatch these. And yeah, I really like, so this is the Midori paper that comes in your traveler's notebook. I actually really like how these look on there. They're kind of fun, although those colors are pretty much the exact same, those two, which happens, I think, with Crayola. But sometimes there's just something nostalgic and special about working with Crayola markers. And I think for me, they hold this special place in my heart because a couple years ago, I was only buying Tombos and I was letting my son use them. And he was maybe 4. And he goes, Mommy, can we get these really, really expensive special markers? And I was like, what do you want more than Tombos, buddy? He goes, Mommy, we use them at daycare and they're so good. They're called Crayola markers. Can I have some Crayola markers? And it was so sweet and so innocent and so cute. Crayola markers. So I still say Crayola to him, but we call them Crayola markers. And you can betcha, I went out and bought him some Crayola markers. And to this day, he has this art storage box that has all of his Crayola markers in it, and he uses them all the time, and he loves them. And so I just like to have them. There's sometimes the ones that he prefers, and since this trip was a lot about them, I thought, oh, well, they don't have to be fancy Tombos. They can be just this, but colors that are fun. I wanted some pastel colors. They have, the bold and bright, and I thought having pastel colors is a lot of fun. I haven't used this pastel palette that I love so much in a long while, and I thought now is the time to do it. Have happiness, feel it, and yeah, enjoy it. And I am going to run out of space on this page, so I'm going to have like 2 different pages, or I could just swatch right there and make them small. I think that's what I'm going to do, because then at least I have them all on one page. I love doing swatch pages because then it can be like, oh yeah, that color, I like that color. Oh yeah, what is that? So swatch pages, they're also really relaxing. So I just like doing them. I like doing them with ink. I like doing them with all sorts of things. So, oh man, this one is the next one. These are some really pretty colors. And what I love is even even these markers, when you have them in the corners, they do pool. Like this is getting some shading. I love that. That is not something I've ever seen a marker do on paper. Thank you, Midori paper. Like this is good paper. I've never really gotten into Midori paper until recently. And I'm like, oh man, I slept on this. And because a lot of people love it for fountain pens, and I don't know why. I had one notebook of Midori, and I don't know why I didn't love it that much, but I just never really used it, and I'm kind of mad at myself for it. But it's one of those things, we go through our phases, right, as we're figuring this stuff out. I love that blue. That's a really, really beautiful blue. I almost wonder if these are colors that you can get in other ones, or if they made these. Nah, it's Crayola. They're in another one. But I'm like, oh, this could be. It just could be that they picked these colors so well that they look different together than they do in another palette, because it's really interesting when you start looking at color theory. It's really interesting how colors can look different when they're next to different colors. It's just fascinating. I love that. I love color so much. I am such a color person, which is why I have a really hard time not buying all the inks all the time. Ooh, I like that purple. So yeah, I think I'm like halfway through this little sketchbook, so it'll be kind of fun to do a little tour of my first traveler's sketchbook. But I'm kind of wondering if I need to like focus on just doing this one rather than my Archer and Olive for the week, so I can start a brand new one for San Diego and then make that one just all San Diego. Because I know me, I'll draw all the time while I'm there. There are those. I think they actually look really nice with that. And then, so this is a pastel. This is a pastel palette, and that's why I liked it. I thought, oh, I do have my normal Winsor & Newton travel palette, but I thought, okay, maybe if we like this could be a palette that I take with me for this trip. Just have pastel colors and make everything pastel-y rather than anything else. And then I can plan my inks around this, because I don't know, I'm having a really hard time planning what my inks are. So yeah, all right, this one is 841 Raw Umber. If I can get it open here. Okay. Well, there's some good colors in here too. Like, I could do some really, really cool mixes with some of these. This one is brown, transparent brown oxide, and I like to take these out first and then I'll spray it down with my water, so you can watch this whole thing. Yay. But I've never used this Mugno watercolor, and it's not going to be good watercolor, that's for sure, especially when I'm coming from like Schminke and Daniel Smith. But I think sometimes it's fun to prove to yourself that it's more about your skill and more about just having fun and playing than it is about your actual product. And there are some things, like, yes, some things it does matter, and especially when you're selling, but I'm just doing this for myself in these sketchbooks, like trying to keep memories and trying to show my kids that this is part of, this is a normal part of your life. It is such a mental thing for me that if I don't get my creative time, I am crazy, like probably certifiably, because some days I struggle with that. But that's one of those things, like when my son is having a meltdown, I look at him and I say, bud, go feel your feelings in your room, because you're being loud and it's really distracting to other people who are not feeling what you're feeling. And it's okay to feel those feelings. Go feel them. If you need to, take a break and calm down. Go do some art. And like, sometimes it's like, yes, now draw a picture of your mom. Draw a picture of me and scribble all over me and draw what you're angry about and like just pretend that I'm the paper. And if you want to just, you know, hit the paper. So we're trying to find, you know, trying to show him that using art in a way to, you know, feel better is a really good way. And he usually will start, calm down, and then and then he just goes for it. And it's so fun to watch, like how he starts angry, you know, and will draw evil pictures of mommy, and then that mommy will morph into whatever story he has in his head at the time. And I love that. It's wonderful that I'm teaching my son coping mechanisms for things. Like, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be sad, but like, let's channel that into something better than, you know, yelling at everybody and making everybody else miserable with you. I mean, that is valid if you want to, but also it's not going to be productive. And sometimes you just need to take a break. And so that's what I try to teach my kids. I don't know if it's the right way, but it's really important to me. All right, and so now I've got all those. So I'm going to just take my little Dollar Tree spray bottle. I think this was the Dollar Tree. I don't know. I get these spray bottles, or like check the dollar sections at like Target and things, and if they have these spray bottles, because I love to throw them in my travel kits. I do that. So we're going to just... And this I know I got on Amazon just years ago. I'm going to look it up, and if it's still there, I will definitely leave a link. So, but I have no idea if it's still there. Oh, come on. Come on, pen. Sometimes you really have to get these going because this is a new brush pen too. Okay, so this is nice. This doesn't have a bad texture. We'll see how it dries, but it doesn't have a, it's a nice texture. It's not it's definitely not, you know, Winsor and Newton or Daniel Smith or Schminke, but it is nice. And like, it's one that if I share with my kids, I wouldn't feel like they're going to ruin my watercolor, which is great. I do want to clean that off so I can do all my swatches. I don't think I've ever really swatched with one of these water pens before. Or maybe I have, but they're kind of hard to clean, I think, sometimes to get the full color off. So we'll try. Doing my best. I did learn a long time ago that you don't want to bring like the color straight to your paper. You want to take and put it here. I like that color. That looks like a lot of my favorite ink colors right now. Circle. Kind of squeezing some water out too. It has been so long since I've swatched watercolor. This is so wonderful. So wonderful. Okay. Sometimes it's easy to forget like all of your hobbies when you're so focused on one. That this is going to be nice to take some of this stuff with. I really like this pink. Ooh, that is beautiful. What is this one? I think this is the Purell Red. It doesn't look like any Purell Red I've had before. I have Purell Red. It's more like orange, but that's fine. You can be Purell Red in this set. I don't think that that's correct, but that's okay. And this one I think is called Rose Madder. That doesn't look like, again, doesn't look like any Rose Madder I've ever had, but if that's what they want to call it, I guess. I do have problems with like these watercolors because this is clearly, you know, an import. I have problems with these watercolors calling themselves professional grade, because the thing about professional watercolors is it's supposed to be light fast, and there's just certain things where they grade it, and I don't know that these are light fast, and I'm not going to do the test. But the idea is that, you know, professional artists use light fast so that they can sell their work and that it's not going to fade on you when you hang it up. me, I don't care about that, at least for like my stuff, because I don't really sell my original works. I really only work in sketchbooks most of the time. I don't do a lot of finished work outside of my sketchbook. Sometimes my sketchbook will have finished works, but, or like what people consider finished, but I just like to do this for myself. And so it's kind of hard to say like, oh yeah, this is Light Fast. I trust when the companies put it on there. I know that there's people who do those tests and they're like, this is probably not Light Fast, but yeah, that's the one thing. But I mean, the names of the colors, it would be nice if they stuck with, you know, the names of the colors and actually were the actual colors. Since Pure All Red, then I can buy it from brand to brand and it's going to be similar pigments, but I guess not in this brand. That's a bright yellow. Oofta, look at that yellow. I like that. I like that. And this very light blue. That is almost so light you can't see it, but that would be really nice to mix. I think that would mix some really pretty greens. Okay, now this weird minty green. This is so the thing that I've noticed about these cheaper palettes, and I've only bought a couple, is that they're very chalky, which is weird to say about watercolor, but you can kind of see as these ones have dried. And I think it's because they use, especially in pastel, I think they use white. I think that's what a lot of it is that they use white. And yeah, that makes them more opaque too, but they're pretty. I think that's with pastel colors. You kind of have to mix white in to get them. But these are really pretty. I think, you know what? I think this is the palette I'm going to take with me. I think it's definitely, maybe. I don't know. I keep going back and forth because I have a palette that I've made with a bunch of random colors. But this is fun. I really like this. Let's get this last one. It's going to be the wrong color because I've mixed it with this light blue. Let's do that again. Yeah, these, and if I mix this like purple with this blue, you can get some really nice shades in here. And like, what if I mix this yellow? Like, look at that green that I can get. I'll show you. The green I can get is really pretty. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a Sophie McPike and do some pre-blobination on this page. So what she does is she just kind of like takes all of her old paint and just kind of throws it on a paper. And then I will take the next thing I sketch, I will sketch over those because she says she likes to do that. And so I have been doing it a lot lately and it's been a lot of fun. I do think I want to throw some blue in there and this bright yellow. She was saying in one of her videos that she does a lot of opera rose in the background to get some brightness in her drawings, so she pre-blobinates. So that's what she does. She just kind of pre-blobinates and then she'll go over it with another color or another thing. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's what I've been doing lately because I've been binging her videos. She's very creative and very just, oh, so much fun. And just, she's not afraid to like play. And that's what I have been all about with my art, is playing. And so there we go. So I have, what's interesting, and I want to mention it too, is I have in my traveler's notebook, I do have a, what do you call it? A watercolor sketchbook in there. But I almost wonder if I would be happy with just taking 2 of these regular ones because I don't do crazy watercolor. I just like to play with watercolor, like doing in mixed media. I think I'd be happier if I knew I had an extra sketchbook in case I go crazy and have a day where I just draw the whole day. Because these sketchbooks are kind of small. I've only had this for a couple weeks and I've already like halfway through it because I do doodle a lot. So yeah, I don't know. That's something to think about. But yeah, that was really all I wanted to do today, was just do some swatching of my supplies. This really looks like, what do you call it? Like some of these looks like some of my inks. Like this kind of reminds me of Pilot Iroshizuku's Inaho. And yeah, this will be fun to draw on top of and do some really cute things. Maybe I will do that in my next video. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna pause and I will come back when this is all dry so you can kind of see all the colors. I'm gonna go over what I like and what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm back, and with this palette, there are some really nice colors in here. I'm actually surprised. It is chalky, and the two yellows are really similar, which yellow does not surprise me. The blues as well are kind of similar colors. I love the way this pre-blobinated page turned out. And I think that these supplies are going to be a lot of fun. And so what I decided to do, since I had a little bit of time, what I decided is I think I am going to do a quick drawing. And while this was drying, I was testing out one of my pencil cases, and I think I'll be able to get it all in here. Maybe not this, but I should be able to get the pencils and the markers in here. And so I'm going to start with my markers. Where did I just set them? I set them right here. They're just under something because I am a hot mess express today. Whew. I am. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that I really just want to do some cute little blobby characters, and I was really digging this color. Yeah. So it's really nice that you can just kind of layer stuff over your watercolor that you've put on. And these are like shape characters that I learned to do in a course with my friend Kate. And you just kind of throw some shapes. In animation and character design, shape language is really important. So if that's not something that you tune into, that's kind of where that came from. And then I'll go over that here in a minute with another color. And I'm looking at, I have that spray bottle here, so I will do that shape because it's kind of this really kind of fun shape here that I can do. I would just love to throw in these shape drawings in my sketchbooks. They're really just relaxing and fun to do for myself. And sometimes the characters turn into something, and I'll kind of add just a few things. Sometimes they turn into props too. Like this may not be a character, that may be a prop, who knows? But it started out life as just looking at this and being like, oh, there's a shape, I like that shape. Same thing with, I have my Oala over here. So that shape is kind of rounded, and then I can kind of see what I can add to it or if I can make it different. And this one I think is going to be a character with long legs. And this gets easier the more you do it. And I'm kind of out of practice, but it is kind of fun to come up with these things just kind of on the fly. And I basically just want to see how these markers layer and work on the watercolor. And they're working really well. Can I add more than one color? That's what I'm wondering. Because so when I went yesterday, I was down with my husband and his family, and I went and it was rainy and wet, so it was very wet. This, if I added 2 layers, it wasn't drying very well. You can see my son added a bird there too because I was showing him how, but it just didn't dry very well. So I was like, maybe I don't want to bring, those are the eco lines that I just got too, so I was kind of bummed, but these might work better. Kind of add some color in here. And then maybe just kind of do a weird shape here. Just so I can play. I'm just trying to play a lot and figure stuff out. Because I'm going to take those pencils and kind of go over them. So, and then you can add watercolor. But that's the kind of idea with mixed media, is a lot of fun to do, is to do the different colors. And I've taken some of these really fun different ways of doing things from different courses I've taken, different YouTubers I've watched, that kind of stuff. I take a lot of courses when I can, but then I'll come in here. I'm gonna try this out. I think, it's a lot of figuring out. What is this? You know what? This is a mushroom. So he's a mushroom head. Drawn mushroom heads before, but I always love to draw mushroom heads. And then maybe some moss growing on him. Yeah. That looks fun. Very adventure time. This is one of those things I do when I don't know what to draw. I just go in and just add these shapes. And sometimes I'll leave the shapes for weeks at a time, and then I'll come back to it. I think he's gonna have trousers. Yeah. How cute is he? Maybe not very cute, but that's the idea. And then I'm gonna try a different color. I kind of want to try the green, actually. And I see this as kind of an olden stove. And so we got some of that coming out. I don't know if it's an actual stove. We'll just kind of go with it. This is what I do. I kind of come up with what I am thinking. And some of this, when it's still wet, I have a hard time. But I highly recommend this. Like, you can pull out, there's a course on Class 101. Gosh, what was it called? And who was it by? I forget. But they also did this. It was creating like a fantasy characters for a fantasy world. I can't remember who it was, but because it was a course I took a while ago. But I take Class 101 courses when I can. I like Domestica. Domestica is kind of like those quick and dirty classes. I really enjoy them because a lot of the artists like on there are smaller artists, or sometimes they're well-known artists. So it's like, oh yeah, I want to take your course because it's fun to see like the thought behind another person's work. But yeah, I don't know. Cabinet, kitchen, maybe it's a grill. Who knows? It's just kind of having fun. One of the things that I learned from Kate Pellerin, Cat, she likes to add legs to things to give it kind of a more fantasy thing. So that's kind of where that comes from. And I like to add a little bit of detail so you can see. I'll show that up close. I might even, instead of the like twirly, I might even just go in like with this and kind of make it a puffy smoke. But the idea is just to warm up. Like, these are really great warm-ups and get some ideas. And I'm mostly just trying this to see how this paper works. But here's some ears. And I think this guy is bald, or he's got like a little bit of hair right here. And his nose is right here. It's so funny because like when I do these character designs, I come up with some really cool characters, but then my characters all kind of, I don't know. I feel like they all kind of look the same when I do my like full illustrations, but I can do other things. It's just like you go back to your creature comforts kind of thing. But he's kind of got, and the more you get used to it, the more you draw different things. But I think he's got, and then he's gonna have like his trousers up to here and some fun boots. Yeah. And I can kind of color this in. mostly just testing out to see if these supplies will work well together, or work on, mostly how well do they work on the Midori, because I don't know, I just like, I always freak out bringing like my good supplies to cities and things, because traveling I tend to forget things, and I lost one of my pens, like my good pens, that my brand new pen in Minneapolis, and I just don't want to do that again. I was bummed for like the whole trip, so that's why I got some of these like lesser things. And I do want to try one of my fountain pens over one of these to see how well it works. A lot of times it works over watercolor, but I'm not sure with this because I've never done it over Midori paper. So I've got J. Urbon's Grise Gallet in here, and this is a fine nib, I think. Or is it a fine? Yes. But the thing about this is it's going to be bigger, like wider, because you already have color and things on your paper. So it will bleed. So it's not going to be perfect. I just want to see how well it works. He's going to have a piece of pizza. Pizza. And this is literally just coming out off like the top of my head. And like, if you're like, how do you do that? I've done this so many times, like so many times. Cause I think it's a fun way to come up with a character and then be like, all right, I want to draw this character again. Okay. So, I mean, in a lot of ways, in a lot of places, I did this. This is marker over watercolor over, you know, on top of the paper. So there's a lot of pilling with the paper already, so it's no surprise that we're getting a little bit of that. But when you just do it over the watercolor, it's fun. Like, you could take this here, I'm kind of seeing this blob, and this blobby guy could turn into something kind of the same way as a shape language. It could turn into a star guy. I don't know. Just going with it. There. Okay. Excuse me. So that, yes, I think this will be just fine. I think that way, then I have everything ready to go. It's not my good supplies. It's supplies that my kids will like. It's the colors work together. The only thing I just don't know is if these work with my pencil sharpener. I really need to find that quick. Okay, so this is my pencil sharpener. It's got one side that's big and one side that's small. So we're gonna try this, especially because I know that, was it the brown was losing shape, or which one was losing shape the most? I think this one. And I've got my little pencil shaving box here. Does this work? We're gonna find out. Not the greatest, but as long as it sharpens, I think we can handle that. Because I don't care what the pencil looks like. We're gonna use it. Oh yeah, look at that. Yes, so that will still work. Because what I'm thinking is I'm gonna bring these pencils along, and then I will probably bring a couple of my really nice dropping things, sorry. A couple of my, in here I don't want to bring my whole roll because this thing is huge, but I have some Derwent pencils, some Derwent Light Fast, some Luminance, and some Pablo pencils, and then this is my Leuchtturm 1917. I am not going to be able to pronounce this, the Dre Griffel, but it's a metal mechanical pencil, and I really like it. I wanted to get something that was a little bit more substantial for a pencil, because it's metal. It's got metal, so it's got a heft to it. And it is the dusty mauve or dusty rose color that they have in the Leuchtturm notebooks this year, and I love it. And Atlas now carries them, so I was really excited. I had to grab one of those. So I have been using this just a few weeks or a week or two. Not very long. I haven't been using it that long, but I really like it. It's nice, and this is the pencil I will bring along with a couple of my Kurutogo. But I was testing this out. This is an old, if I can zoom out, let's see here. You can also see my mess, but this is an old artist roll that I actually sewed myself. I found a pattern on Etsy and then sewed this up myself with, this is raincoat fabric. So it's really nice. This is Tig Dromar fabric I got from Bow Button Fabrics. She's a good friend of mine, Kimberly is, and she runs this fabric shop. So if you check it out, go check it out. If you sew Bow Buttons, she carries a lot of really great fabrics, and I just adore her. So, but I made this, gosh, when did I make this? I think 2 or 3 years ago, and it rolls, and it's not it was my prototype before I made a really nice waxed canvas one for my friend. So I even have Velcro because that's what I had instead of a zipper, because I used Velcro on mine and then actually sewed a zipper in for my friends and made her little thing right here longer. But it does the job for when I'm using an artist roll, and it has like a little strap with these things. So it does strap up, but this is so big, I just don't want to take this with me because I'm trying to pack lighter. So I'm not going to bring this. I can fit a lot in here, including my my Neo colors. But so for that, then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and then I'll put like 5 or 6 of my good luminance pencils right there. And then I just have this one kit besides my fountain pens. Because honestly, I will probably use fountain pens more than any of this stuff, but I want to make sure that I have a kit that is good for me and my sons. Because they do mimic me, especially my oldest. He really likes to draw. And so if they see me drawing like plein air or like drawing or journaling in my traveler's notebook, they're going to want to as well. So I just want to be able to have that for us. And I just think it'll be fun to have markers. I haven't played with Crayola markers in a long time. And so what I'll probably do is use them with my Diamine Forever ink and do some fun coloring that way. But then this just goes right in here. This I use when I'm plein air. I got this, there's an artist somewhere, but I got this. This is one of those sweat rags, but then I just put it here and I can, clean off my pen with that. And it's pink. I was really excited to find a pink one. But this will go in here. This will go in here. I don't like this washi tape, so I'll pick a different washi tape. And then this has been in here for a while. I used to, before I used fountain pens, when I just did like watercolor, I would use colored pencil lead because it looks like it comes off better with watercolor. But I have found that erasing the colored lead doesn't work as well, and sometimes because of the wax that they use, it like won't let fountain pens go over it. So there's that, and then this will go in here too, and then my water pen. And so I'll have this, excuse my pen, I'll have this, and then this will go in my purse, and I will show the final like packing, but I think I like this part for that. So there is that. That is all of this. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any suggestions, any tips. If you're curious about anything else, if you're curious about this, I'm going to try to find a link to this or something similar. I'm really excited to play with this a little bit more. I think these colors are right up my alley, which is exactly probably why I bought it. But I'm just like, I cannot believe I've had this sitting This was sitting in my art cart that I have tucked away in my old office. So it had to have been there at least 3 to 4 years. I promise you it's been there that long because my art cart got moved down there a while ago and I kind of left it. So I'm glad that I was cleaning up and going through things because this will be nice. Anyway, that is everything. If you finished this with me, go ahead and leave me a paintbrush or some type of painting emoji, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great one. Bye.